2½ cups of crumbs, I'm reading my recipe, 1 stick of unsalted butter, slightly melted, 1 cup of erythritol, and ½ cup of stevia, and we can put a dash of vanilla or not in that crust. So the crust, I'm going to use almond flour to make the crust, but you don't have to. You can make a crust with, you can crush pecans, you can toast and crush pecans, almonds. This is essentially crushed almonds, this almond flour. It's all pure almonds, just crushed to the pulverized to the point of being flour. And so there are a couple of nuts that you can use that you can sweeten. It's almost like a cookie recipe consistency without the eggs, without any eggs. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, boy. We're gonna start with, I measured out 2½ cups of almond flour in our bowl. This is a ½ cup of erythritol. I don't know if you can see it. And it's ½ a tablespoon of erythritol. This erythritol is really powerful. I get it on Amazon, and you cannot mix this equal to equal for sugar in ratio. This probably 1/2 teaspoon or 1 teaspoon is probably enough to sweeten maybe 64 ounces of like a smoothie. So I'm using a tablespoon, a full tablespoon, because I want this cheesecake to be modestly sweet. I'm gonna mix it a little while it's dry. And you can see the consistency, I hope. It looks just, it's just uniform. I'm trying to make it have a little, pretty few lumps, but just kind of mixing it there. And if you really wanted it totally smooth, you could always take your hand blender and gently blend around there a little, but I'm not going to do that. Melted butter, 1 full stick. I'm going to pour it in there. My recipe ingredients may be a little higher in quantity because I make bigger servings. Most of the recipes that I find online, especially when it comes to healthy keto, wind up being like just servings, just to serve maybe 2 or 3 people at the very most. It's usually like 1 or 2 people. And I have a family of 4, and it's a holiday. People might want more than 1 slice. They may come back for another one. So, I just want a lot more. See, the consistency is kind of crumbly and damp. All that's in here is sweetener, almond flour. So I'm going to pour it into the pan. And I'm just going to spread it around. I don't want this going like totally up the sides of the pan. I find that just a little lower kind of works a little better for us. I mean, I could go up as far as the quantity of crust that I have will allow, but I'm just not too pressed about it. I'm going all the way up the pan. And with my cheesecake, I plan on, after it's baked, I plan on leaving it in the pan. And so I will cool it in the refrigerator in the pan, and when tomorrow, Christmas morning, when when we cut it, we would cut it from the pan. I'm kind of trying to even it out, kind of pat it down, but even in an even way. So if I see one area is much more raised than the other, I'm just trying to press that down, and I might even take a little scoop of some of that crust and bring it over to a place that I see looks a little scant, or a little bit spare. So I can even out my crust. So I think that may be it. I just want you to see what that looks like first. And then now we're gonna pop this in the oven for 15 minutes. And I'll come back. Alrighty, I'm back, and I'm going to start on the center ingredients. And it's just a Member's Mark cream cheese, original cream cheese. So there have been times I've got Philadelphia cream cheese. Of course, that's my favorite. But this works just fine. So I have one block of that, and that equals 3 pounds of cream cheese. Told you I cook big. And I suggest that you leave it, set it on the countertop overnight. If it's not soft enough, it does need to be soft, because a lot of the bubbles or cracks that occur in a cheesecake come from it not being smooth enough, or not being moist enough in the oven. So if it is not soft enough after it's been overnight on the counter, then I suggest you warm it up in the microwave at about 30-second intervals. So you're not really don't fry it, and it shouldn't be turning brown or getting bubbly, but it can get warm. So that's my cream cheese. So I'm going to start adding in my ingredients. I got 1.5 cups of erythritol. I got 1 tablespoon of stevia. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And sour cream. What was that? 1.5 cups of sour cream. Some people blend theirs first, blend the other ingredients, and then add the sour cream. I'm not sure that makes a big difference, and I guess that's why I just go ahead and put it all in there together. 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and I like 1 tablespoon of almond extract. I'm not sure if it's because almond extract complements so nicely the almond crust. So both of these extracts I found on Amazon. I got 1.5 cups of erythritol. I got 1 tablespoon of stevia. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And sour cream. What was that? 1.5 cups of sour cream. people blend theirs first, blend the other ingredients and then add the sour cream. I'm not sure that makes a big difference, and I guess that's why I just go ahead and put it all in there together. 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and I like 1 tablespoon of almond extract. So both of these extracts I found on Amazon. When you're eating healthy keto, you got to be careful what extracts you use, because if you use an extract that has syrup in it, like there are these extracts that are really, it's like anything else. It can be cheaply made and it can be loaded with sugar, but you can find good stuff too. And I love this Mexican vanilla, pure Mexican vanilla extract. I get this on Amazon, and it's a huge bottle, so we can use it even in smoothies. And I like this imitation. This one's by McCormick, and I like the imitation almond extract too. Now, the last ingredient is going to be eggs. A total of 6 eggs. But I'm going to break them one by one, crack them one by one. I'm going to put them in a clear bowl, so I can see. What I want to see is I want to make sure that I don't have any shells in there, because we all know that biting into a piece of cheesecake and tasting a piece of shell is not going to be sexy, right? So first I'm going to blend this alone, and then I'm going to start adding in 1 egg at a time. So it's important to blend this at about a medium speed, so you're not going crazy, you're not rushing it, but it's also very important that you get the lumps out. That is pretty smooth. So blending is we're going to take our spatula and we're going to scoop down the bowl. We're going to go through the sides of the bowl and mix it all. That also makes sure that we incorporate all the parts. So there's no bits where there's just sour cream or other parts where there's chunks of cream cheese. My second egg, and hey guys, especially my health coaching clients, is not the egg yolk of a pasture raised egg. So beautiful and orange. The consistency, even after the color, even after it's blended, is just so beautiful. You'll notice that commercial eggs are almost a pastel yellow, where pasture-raised eggs are that bright orange. I know I've heard some farmers have gotten around. They've learned to mimic the color of the pasture-raised egg by feeding their chickens a certain feed that makes their eggs come out a darker yellow. But I don't believe, and I hope, it is not legal for them to put pasture raised on the box of eggs, and they're not actually pasture raised. So yeah, I'd like to live with that illusion and believe that. So don't correct me, because you're not going to make it better. So this is 1 more egg. I'm going to do this 6 times. 1 egg at a time. Beat it a little with the wire whisk. Then I'm going to add it into the mixture, and we're going to blend it for a couple minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm beating up my last egg of the 6 blend it into my mixture on the inside of the cheesecake filling. And at the same time, my crust has just come out of the oven. It did its 15 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees. And so we're gonna let that cool before we add the final mixture. So for now, I'm putting in that number 6 egg and blending, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm still waiting for my crust to cool because it was really hot, but I just wanted to show you that beautiful golden brown crust at the bottom. I'm just really proud of that. And so I have to let this cool before I pour in the batter. This is the batter, and you can see the consistency. You see it's pretty thin, thick, but without a lot of lumps. I do see little tiny ones in there, but this is as good as I can get it, guys. So this is going to be delicious. My family's just going to say thank you. Not, it was lumpy. So anyway, here we go. And we're going to give this about 30 minutes and to cool. And here in Texas, even though it's Christmas Eve, it's not all that cold. It was raining earlier, so I'm not sure if that has something to do with how long it's going to take my crust to cool. So we'll give it 30 minutes and we'll be back. And we're back. So now I have my crust is cooled. This is slightly warm, a little in the middle at the bottom, but it's like very touchable. It's a little more than room temperature, so I think that's fine. And I'm gonna pour the filling into the crust. Then I'm gonna bake it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I'm gonna reduce the heat to 300 degrees, and I'm going to bake it on 300 for at least an hour, or until the center wobbles and I can feel like it's about done. Then when that happens, I'm going to turn the heat off in the oven, and I'm going to leave the cheesecake in that warm oven for at least an hour so it can cool in the oven, so it cools slowly. And it's pouring time. So here we go. It's nice and pretty smooth. Good enough volume for my mega cheesecake recipe. I told you, most people, they cook for a couple people or smaller versions, but I have to, when I find recipes that I adapt from YouTube, I wind up doubling the recipe, because I cook for a lot of people. I cook for a lot of people if there's not a lot of people in my house. I don't know. Maybe I'm perfect for Texas because I like to do things big. So yeah, that was like just a perfect amount to fill this baking dish. And as you can see, because it's glass, it goes a little bit above the crust. And I think it's perfect and ready for the oven. This is our final product. Pretty final. Like I said, we did I will be back and we'll film that. We'll cut it and we'll taste it. We'll taste it for you. I wish you could smell it right now because it smells really nice. So, see you in the morning. Okay guys, hey, Merry Christmas. It is Christmas morning. Our cheesecake, it sat in the oven for that last hour with the oven turned off, and we put it in the refrigerator and it chilled overnight, and this is our final product. And we are gonna cut it and taste it. I'm gonna taste it and my camera person is gonna taste it. So this is gonna be a genuine taste, and I just hope that she likes it. So this is the true and honest taste testing moment. It's the perfect amount of sweet, I think. It is. The crust really adds a really nice, almond almost tastes like cherry. But it's like a sophisticated cherry. Don't you think? You can't talk. You think she likes it? You can tell.
It's very good.
Because she's eating almost the whole thing. I think that means she likes it. What do you guys think?
Very cheesecake. 10 cheesecakes out of 10 cheesecakes.
Very cheesy cakey. Very New York style. This is good, guys. It tastes. The cheesecake part is creamy. The crust part is it's just like if you had an almond cookie at the bottom. It's perfectly sweet. You do have to be very careful using organic stevia, because stevia, you can easily go too far. I don't think I went too far with this, but some people might want to scale it back just a quarter of a teaspoon less. It's amazing with organic stevia how far a quarter of a teaspoon goes. A quarter of a teaspoon can sweeten a half a gallon of liquid almost, so.
I don't think it's strong in stevia.
No?
No. Because, I'm used to stevia, but I'm sensitive to that over stevia.
Yeah.
It gets like a bitterness.
It becomes bitter.
I would know if it's happened.
Wow. It is so good that we're gonna wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
This was supposed to be a taste.
And I hope that you can get used to having a healthier lifestyle while it's still really enjoyable. So what my family's gonna do this morning is we're gonna have a slice of cheesecake, and we're gonna have some coffee, organic, because coffee beans are the highest grade crop when it comes to pesticides. So organic coffee, and we're gonna start our meal, and we're going to open our gifts. And I'm just really thankful for all that we have. And we